Hi guys, it's SimLicy here, so welcome to another speed build. So today I am building another family home, and this time it's a family house for the 100 baby challenge, which is something I have been wanting to do for such a long time. I have built an apartment for that challenge. I built a 100 baby like mermaid version of this challenge, or a house for it anyways, but I've never built something that was just like a regular suburban home for this challenge. And so that's what I'm doing today, and I'm really excited about it because, yeah, like I said, it's something I've wanted to do for a very long time, and I found a really nice inspiration image to build this house off of. And so I'll put a picture of it here on screen. I've actually seen it once or twice before, but wasn't exactly sure like how I was going to make the house look cute in the game. So this time I just decided that I was gonna go for it and see what I could come up with, and I'm actually really happy that I did, because this is one of my like most favorite houses I've ever done. It just feels so like family oriented. Even if you don't want to play the 100 baby challenge, this would be such a good home, I think, for just a large family and maybe like a dog or a cat, and then you could just, I don't know, do all of the family stuff in it. So I think that would be like so much fun, and yeah, I'm really hoping that you guys are going to like it. But anyways, I'll put a picture of the house that I was looking at on screen. I've looked at a lot of images that I think are from the same movie. I think it's from a movie. I haven't looked it up at this point. I probably should, because I've seen a lot of things on Pinterest that are very similar to it in style, and I think they're all from the same film. Let me know if you guys know for sure, but I'll definitely need to look that up myself too. But yeah, here I was trying to copy the roof decorations that were in the inspiration image, but for some reason I wasn't doing it correctly. I feel like I've done something very similar to this before in like a couple of different builds, but for some reason I just wasn't, I don't know, doing it properly. I couldn't figure it out. So I just decided to use the floor trims instead to add decoration. And I think this was a good option because I think for the build, it just looked really nice and clean and simple. And it was something easy to add decoration throughout the entire build. And I love the big wraparound porch and the balcony and like how it's angled. Unfortunately, I couldn't raise up the foundation to make the house taller, because the way stairs work in the game, you can't put stairs on a an angle, which is quite unfortunate. I probably could have raised up the build and maybe used the terrain or some platforms or something to create steps to the house. Maybe I should have tried something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but I decided just to leave the house lower, which I thought was kind of nice because usually I do raise houses up on foundations in like most of my builds. So it's kind of like a nice change of pace a little bit. I really struggled with this roof line, but I was trying my best to look at the inspiration image and stick to it the best that I could while still making it look good in the game, because sometimes when I'm looking at things and trying to copy them, you can't copy them exactly just because the way the proportions work in the game or just the way things look in the game in general. Sometimes things just don't look as interesting as they do in like certain art styles or even in like real life and stuff. Especially in real life, actually, things are a lot harder to copy from real life. But anyways, yeah, here with the back of the house, I wasn't looking at any inspiration, so I'm kind of just making up, trying to create something that looks interesting and then also makes sense. I think for the front of the house, I wanted to make something that looked like, you know, it belonged in the house or part of the house. And I'm also using some more rounded windows. In the last build that I did where I used these large rounded windows, I used the wrong ones. I was going on and on about how the promotional art had the wrong windows, and I thought those were the ones that I was using. And yeah, they weren't. I was using the ones that actually came with the industrial loft kit, but there are ones that were in the promotional image that are now part of base game that didn't actually come in that pack, and so that's the ones that I'm using here. And they're very similar to the Moschino stuff windows, but they are rounded instead of boxy, but I don't think they're the same width, which is very unfortunate. They should have probably thought about that since they're such similar style. But anyways, the rest of the windows that I'm using came from the Get Famous pack. So yeah, I thought those looked good on this house. And then I think the doors that I'm using came from Get to Work, if I remember correctly. But anyways, here I'm moving on to the interior. This interior was a little bit challenging. I wasn't exactly sure where I wanted to put the staircase or how I wanted to work out the floor plan, and I ended up having this kind of like awkwardly large hallway in the center of the house on the first floor. But thankfully, once I started decorating it, I was able to make it a little bit smaller, and I think it looks better that way, and it kind of makes more sense as a hallway rather than just being like an open unusable room or just empty room because I don't know, it was way too big to be a hallway. So here you can see I'm creating it now, and it's just kind of like this big square in the middle of the house, and I was like, what am I going to do with this? I thought about putting maybe like an activity table or something in the center, but I felt like that would look so out of place and feel just, I don't know, just so unrealistic. Not that I was necessarily going for something that was super realistic, but that, I don't know, I wasn't happy with it. But thankfully, like I said, once I started decorating the house, I figured it out. But here on the exterior, I decided to add a garage and a driveway, which I think looks so cute. I really love creating detached garages. I think they're just really charming for some reason. I'm not exactly sure, and that seems like a weird thing to think is charming, but I just think they look so cute. And I really like putting cars in the driveway. I also end up putting a basketball hoop, but the cars in the driveway might block your Sims from actually using the hoop. And if it doesn't block them, then your Sims will probably like walk through the cars to play basketball. So you might want to move them, but I just really liked where they were for screenshots, so I didn't want to move them. But if your Sims want to play basketball, you might want to pull them a little bit further ahead in the driveway. But yeah, for the landscaping, I basically just used a lot of shrubs and some flowers and just tried to make it feel just like it was supposed to be part of this house. I don't know, I kind of wasn't exactly sure the direction that I was going to go for, and so I was just kind of starting to place things and trying to figure it out as I go along. But basically what I knew I wanted to add was a large swimming pool. I knew I wanted there to be like a play area and just really family oriented because I was building for the 100 Baby Challenge, which is of course a very family oriented challenge to play because you have to have 100 babies. So there's lots of family gameplay, but I also wanted it just to be a nice family home in case you didn't want to play that challenge. But here I'm trying to create a swimming pool that looks somewhat rounded. Unfortunately, we do not have rounded swimming pools in the game, but this kind of looks like one. You can use some like floor decorations to cover up the edges and, you know, rotate them to kind of round out a little bit. I see lots of people doing that, but that wasn't something I wanted to do here. And for the play area, I used the toddler slide, I used the monkey bars, and then also a swing set just to add a lot of variety. And then I think I also put the building block table and a toy box out there as well. And I fill in the entire play area with sand so they can play in the sand. And I just think that looks so, so cute. And then surrounding it, I just put some greenery and some flowers and stuff. I really liked using these hydrangeas, by the way, in the blue color. I usually always use the live edit option, one that has the cream color, just because I feel like it's so pretty. But this one, I wanted to add a bit more color, so I add some pink flowers, some little purple flowers, and then the blue hydrangeas, which I think are so fun. And yeah, I'm just so happy that I use them because I never ever use them. And then I really liked using these nice plain hedges surrounding the building, kind of like framing everything in. And then also these bushes too, I thought were super pretty. And then there's just some pathways, a couple of trash cans out here too, and there's just a lot of decorations. I end up putting a couple of floaties in the swimming pool. I size up a dog toy and put that in the swimming pool too, just to look like a ball that you could bounce around in the water. Your Sims can't actually do that because it's a dog toy, but it looks cute. There's also a toddler swimming pool, a barbecue out here, an outdoor dining table, a couple of towels, lounge chairs, a lot of stuff. Actually, it ends up looking quite busy. I felt like when I was taking the screenshots, but I don't know, I didn't want to remove anything because these are all of the activities that I wanted to include. I really wanted this house to have a lot of stuff to do, so it definitely has that, but I tried to organize it in a way that, I don't know, I felt like made sense or looked the best way possible. And I really liked adding the towels because I feel like I never use them. I've used them like a couple of different times, but I never remember to use them. And another item that I never remember to use is the vacuums. I never ever use them, and this would have been the perfect build, so you won't see me place one, but I'm going to try to remember to add one before uploading it to the gallery, and I'm really going to try to remember that they exist during other builds, because a build like this one or other family homes or even just like regular builds or apartments, like vacuums make so much sense, and they're like such nice like realistic clutter, even if you don't want to have your Sims actually vacuum. I don't know, I'm kind of disappointed in myself for not remembering them, but I've been watching a lot of speed builds recently and I see people use them and I'm like, how do they remember to use them? And then I don't. I'm like so frustrated. But anyways, yeah, here I'm just adding some more trees, trying to figure out how I want to do the rest of the landscaping. I really wanted there to be some like tall trees that matched the environment, and so I just placed a few of them around that I thought looked nice. Not as many as I was trying to use originally, and then here I'm just adding some exterior lights, and I do end up adding some decorations to the porches. Right now I just have a bench and I leave it pretty simple. I didn't want to clutter it up too much, but I end up adding, I think, one of the kids' card tables, and then I think a chess table too. So there's a couple of different activities. And then here I'm just adding some plants to the front of the build, just adding some like flowers and stuff. And then some of these low-lying sort of like puffy bushes with flowers on them. I thought they looked so cute and I really like them. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the landscaping, just adding a few more over here, and of course a mailbox. Sometimes I forget about mailboxes and then they show up like on the inside of the house just somewhere like randomly. And I feel like that's so strange for the game to automatically place them inside rather than like auto placing them on the exterior somewhere. I wonder why that always happens, but it seems to always happen on the interior. But anyways, here you can see I'm moving on to the interior, and I'm starting off by decorating the kitchen first. You'll probably notice though that there's some couches in the living room and some flooring and wallpaper. I end up switching up, I think, most of that. I think I end up leaving the couches, but I try out a couple of different options. But I was starting to decorate the build and I wasn't liking anything that I was doing, and I was getting quite discouraged because I loved the exterior so much and I wanted to love the interior just as much. And I just needed to basically step away and try again at another time. And so that's what I'm doing here, and I'm so happy that I did that because I end up really loving the interior. It's so colorful and it's so bright and cheerful, and it just feels very cozy and homey, and that's exactly the look that I wanted to go for. And the way I was decorating it originally, I think was just a bit too dark. I was trying to use originally the wainscoting that came from Parenthood that's like a darker brown color, and I think that was making me choose like darker colors to kind of go along with it, but I decided to use the white version and then use a lighter tile and everything. It just was so much brighter and cheerful and just super cute. So over here I wanted to use the dishwasher on the counter, but for some reason it just clips over the edge of the counter and it's not like hidden basically. And so I put a table right here and it doesn't cover it up perfectly. Here I tried merging in another counter, which it does cover it up, but then there's a lot of clipping on the counter space. So I just decided just to leave it alone. And well, I mean, I tried a few other things first, but I just left the table here and then added some clutter decorations on top of it. And I think it looks super cute right there. And it doesn't bother me so much that you can actually see the dishwasher. And I really liked using the stove and refrigerator. It came from the Country Kitchen kit, but this blue color was just so cute and almost like cartoony feeling. I felt like the style of them really reminded me of like a Pixar movie, and this like felt more like a Pixar kitchen, which is something I really like to go for when decorating something that's very family oriented and cutesy like this, especially when I use like a lot of Parenthood. I try to kind of give it that Pixar feel, which I'm not sure if I achieved that necessarily, but it is something I think about. And I just think this kitchen is just so cute. And I also used a coffee pot, and I've realized recently that I always use the teapot. So yeah, that was kind of something cool. I mean, not that any of you guys probably care, because it's definitely something that is like really easy to swap out if you prefer one over the other, but it's just something that I've noticed a lot recently in my builds that I use a lot of is that teapot and never coffee pots, which is strange because I drink a lot of coffee in real life and hardly any tea. But apparently I don't want that for my Sims. But yeah, here I just hung up some artwork, and I also put a little side table with a fishbowl on it. I thought that was kind of a nice thing to have since I was wanting them to have a pet. But since the 100 Baby Challenge requires you to have so many kids, I imagine you don't have room in your household to have a dog or a cat, because that does take up Sim spaces in your like family household. but a fish doesn't, so they have a fish. But you could of course have a dog or a cat if you prefer that. And then over here is going to be the entryway. The entryway is fairly simple. There's just like a chair with a lamp, and then I also add just some other entryway items. Another thing that I'm realizing I should probably use more of is the thermostat that came from Seasons. That would be another like perfect entryway item to use that I always forget about. I use it every once in a while, definitely more than the vacuums, but it's not something that I ever remember exists. But anyways, yeah, there's just a side table in here with some shoe clutter, an umbrella rack, and a few other decorations. It's a fairly simple entryway, but I think it looks super cute. And I also really liked using that chandelier in there. I end up using it throughout the build. It came from Cottage Living. It's a lot more of like a more traditional looking chandelier than I was planning on using, but in the white color I felt like just matched the build really nicely. But there you saw that I created a smaller hallway, and I think it looks so much better, and it gave me so much more room here in the dining room, which I think was totally necessary. So the dining table can fit 6 Sims, and then there's 2 high chairs, so at any time you could have enough room for 6 Sims that are older than the child age or child age and older, and then you can have room for 2 toddlers. So I mean, of course you could have more toddlers because they don't necessarily need the high chairs to sit and eat, but they're available if you want to use them. I was trying to place them in the dining room, but I really wasn't liking the way that was looking, so I moved them over here to the kitchen, and I think that looks so much better. I feel like they just look like they belonged in that space a little bit more. And then also here in a moment, I find the aprons that we got in a recent update. For some reason, I wasn't thinking about them while I was decorating the kitchen, but I'm so happy that I found them because they came in like the most adorable blue swatch that matched the build like perfectly. And so I placed them in there next to the high chairs, and they're just so cute, and I'm like so excited about it. I'm really pleased that I found them. I also end up adding a parenthood board in the hallway too, I think a little bit later on in the build. So yeah, I'm really happy about that as well because I wanted to add a lot of like family related activities, and that's definitely a family related item that your Sims can actually use and interact with. But anyways, yeah, over here in the living room, I'm using these couches that came from Dream Home Decorator. I really liked the color of them a lot. And then behind this couch, I'm creating a built-in using these bookshelves that came from Cats and Dogs, and then a side table that came from Cottage Living. I'm using 2 of those next to each other to create like this piece in between the bookcases. I think it kind of looks like built in, and then I added some decorations back here on top of it that I thought would look cute, and I think it's just so adorable. And then just a few extra clutter items on top of the bookcases. And then yeah, I also add a walk-in closet here in the living room because I had space for it where the chimney on the exterior is, and so I thought that was kind of nice just to have another activity. I also wanted to add some like children activities down here, but I ended up just putting some clutter on top of the coffee table, like some crayons and stuff, so it kind of feels like kids have been actively playing down there. But I didn't think any of the like actual like the drawing table or anything like that would really fit down there. But of course that's something that you could add if you would like to. And then over here is going to be the laundry room. I used the laundry, the washer and dryer anyways, in this blue swatch, which I thought was so cute. I ended up using way more blue in this build than I planned on, but I'm really liking it a lot. Yeah, I also added a mop and a broom in here, so I always remember a mop and a broom, it seems like, but never a vacuum, but a vacuum would fit in there perfectly. And then over here is going to be the downstairs bathroom, so it's the only bathroom downstairs, and it's just a simple half bath with a sink and a toilet and a toddler potty, of course, too, which is definitely necessary, I feel like. And then moving on to the second floor, there's a hallway leading to the bedrooms, and then there's 4 bedrooms up here. There's the master bedroom where the main sim of the 100 baby challenge, I guess, I'm not sure what you would call that, the challenger sim, the sim that's trying to have 100 babies, so that's their room. Of course, if you're not playing the challenge, that would just be the plain old master bedroom. And then there's a toddler room with 2 toddler beds, and then there's 2 other bedrooms that are supposed to be kids and teen rooms. I decided just to do 2 different colored schemes rooms, and that way maybe you have Sims that would fit in those rooms. Whether they're a child or a teen. I did one like a pink room and then one room that's more like blue. So yeah, you could just switch up the colors if you didn't think either of those worked for your Sims. But yeah, over here is going to be the master bedroom like I was talking about. I was really trying to use this bed that came from Cottage Living because I really liked the white like metal frame of the bed but the blue color just wasn't the blue that I was wanting it to be. And then also I felt like the wire frame was just a bit too traditional looking. And so I ended up swapping it out for a Dream Home Decorator bed, which I was trying to avoid because I use the Dream Home Decorator beds a lot, but the color was just so much better. And then also the frame of the bed, I felt like just went better with the overall style of the build. But here you can see I'm adding the Parenthood board, just trying to shuffle things around to make space for it. I also sized it down just slightly and then used the tool mod to raise it up and down the wall. I actually got a comment recently asking if you need the tool mod to like have the changes that I make with the tool mod. If you don't have the tool mod and you want to download a build like this where I just use it to adjust items, you don't need the tool mod. If I use it in apartments and you want to have the windows changed like I do, you do need the tool mod because you'll have to place the windows yourself. So I thought I would mention that just to kind of clarify a few things, because I recently shared a tutorial on how to like swap out the windows and I was getting some questions like that. But you don't need the tool mod if I do a build like this and I use the tool mod. It's not necessary or required at all. But yeah, here I am trying out this bed, but it wasn't working either. And so I used this one just because the wood tone is perfect. It matches this dresser that came from Cottage Living. And I think this dresser is so cute. I love it so much. I think it works in builds like this. It works in really traditional builds, and it comes in so many cute swatches. And thankfully it comes in this orangey wood tone that matches the rest of the orangey wood tones. And yeah, I think this room just ended up being so much cuter than it was originally. And then here I just placed a plant, a bookcase with a few clutter items. And yeah, this is pretty much it for the bedroom. I also end up decorating a little ensuite bathroom that's very simple. There I did think about switching out the side tables just because I felt like, I don't know, I wasn't really liking the ones that I was using, but I think they're the best option. But yeah, the bathroom is fairly simple. There's just a stand-up shower and tub combo and a sink and a toilet. It's quite small, but it's super cute. Now over here is going to be the toddler's bedroom. I absolutely love the toddler bedroom. It's probably my favorite out of all of the kids' rooms that I do, but I found that kind of surprising because I feel like that's normally not the case. Usually I like kids' rooms a lot more anyways than toddler rooms, because we don't have like a whole lot of decorations for toddler bedrooms. But I think I did some interesting things in here, and I really liked the wallpaper. I felt like it was so bright and colorful. But here I'm rotating some towels to look like cushions, and I created a little like bench seat right here, which I thought was so cute. And then I also used some of these little stools that came from cats and dogs to look like extra pillows too. So you'll see me rotate these here in just a moment. The tool mod is so handy, like I've been saying. I'm just completely obsessed with it. But also, like I was saying, it's not required to have this in your game. If you want to make adjustments to it and not have them like go back to their original orientation, then you probably would need the tool mod. But to have it just be this way and you don't mess with it, you don't need the tool mod. But yeah, I think this looks so cute. And then I also really liked using these beds. These beds came from the Eco Lifestyle pack, and I felt like they just suited the overall style. And I don't know, this toddler room I think is just so adorable. And I also sized down this dollhouse and put it in the center of the room. And then yeah, just a few other decorations. I think I put like a bookcase in here, and then a large stuffed animal, and some other like random toddler toys like the blocks and the that little digital tablet thing, whatever that's called. But yeah, I like this room. I'm super pleased with it. I think it's so cute. I like the other rooms too, but I don't know, I feel like this is like such an adorable nursery, toddler room, whatever you want to call it. Let me know if you guys agree. But anyways, yeah, here I'm just making the final few changes, adding some clutter items on the bookcase, and then that's it for the toddler room. Now this bathroom I didn't realize was such an awkward shape for placing a shower. And so I was trying to use these half walls to create sort of like a structure where the shower should go. But then I felt like it just blocks your view and is really awkward to use. And so what I end up doing is actually removing the window that's over here on the very left side of the building. And then I do the same thing with the window on like the direct other side too. And so I just move this tree to block it so it doesn't look so awkward, but then I actually had a space to put the shower, and it just made the bathroom work so much better. So I felt like this was a pretty good decision. But yeah, in here there's a toilet, a sink, a couple of toddler potties, and I also end up using this shower curtain swatch that has the elephants on it. I felt like that was pretty adorable. And I end up switching out the curtain right here to be one from Dream Home Decorator. I felt like this just worked a little bit better in the space. and then I just cluttered it up with a few decorations. I also end up putting a toy box in here, the one that came from Parenthood that has like the toys spilling out of it. I wanted it to feel like they were bath toys for your Sims to use, and I'll play test it before uploading it to the gallery to make sure that the toy box isn't blocking your Sims from actually using the shower. I think where I placed it, it shouldn't block it, but I will double check it. Now, over here is going to be the 2 kids rooms slash teen rooms, and I kind of struggled with beginning to decorate them. So you'll see me try out like a couple of things, and I'll end up like switching things here in just a moment, but I shuffled things around for a while trying to figure out which room is going to be which, what colors I was going to go for, if I was going to use bunk beds or like 2 single beds. And at this point I even wasn't sure if I was going to create like 1 child themed room and then 1 teenager themed room, but I felt like mixing them was probably better. I don't know if that really makes sense, but I was thinking that was probably the better option. But anyways, what I end up doing is actually turning this one into a more like blue colored room. I think that's what I decided to do, was just to go on color schemes rather than trying to think of the Sims that live here, because I feel like that's just always going to be changing in this challenge, and it's never going to be consistent. But you're always going to have kids and you're always going to have teens, and so mixing them I felt like was the better option, and then just decorating for color. But yeah, as soon as I placed this rug, I decided that this was going to be the blue room, and I also don't end up leaving the rug, but the other room ends up being more like yellow and pink, and that was inspired probably pretty clearly by this bed that I'm using from Dream Home Decorator, and I use it in the bunk bed, which I thought was so cute. This room I end up also placing bunk beds. I tried just placing 2 beds here originally on either side of the room, but I felt like this just took up too much space and I wanted there to be a lot of activities, and so I felt like a bunk bed was a much better option. But yeah, it just took me forever to actually like figure out what I wanted to do in these rooms. I don't know why I was struggling so much, but either way, I figured it out in the end, and I think the rooms are just so cute. And this room has a lot of activities. Like I was saying, it has the oh, what is it called? The science station. I used the one that came from Snowy Escape because it looks a lot more modern than the base game one. The base game one is a very weird style that I feel like matches almost nothing besides maybe Realm of Magic. I feel like it would fit in there perfectly, but other than that, it fits, like, doesn't even fit into base game. It's such a weird style, but thankfully we did get the one from Snowy Escape, and so it matches perfectly. And yeah, in here I also have a dresser, a couple of stuffed animals, a little chair, and I think I leave a desk. Actually, no, I think I get rid of the desk because it took up too much space, and then I wanted to add the science table, so I put that in its space. But yeah, it took me a little while to figure out exactly how I wanted to place everything, but this is the science table that I was talking about in case you guys don't have the Snowy Escape expansion pack. This is the one that comes with that pack, and it's so much more clean and simpler, and it comes in a lot of different colors, so you can put it in pretty much any room that you could think of decorating in, like any color, because there's so many options. But yeah, I also place a school project on the floor, and then also this little gaming console thing in the center of the room too. And then over here on top of the dresser, I add some clutter decorations. I use some school projects as clutter decorations, which I really enjoy doing. I also find some debug books to put around that I thought were pretty cute and very kid looking. Honestly, both of the children/teen rooms look more focused on children's Sims, but there's just a lot more activities for them to do. I mean, teen Sims can pretty much do everything that adult Sims do, like use the adult guitar, easel, and I don't know what else they do. I feel like we need more stuff for them and more things that feel more like teenagers, because I feel like they're just kind of like slightly skinnier young adults. They don't even really look that different. But anyways, yeah, that's it for that room. And then over here it's going to be the other kid teen room. In here it's more of a pink color scheme with some yellow, which I thought was super fun. I just really love the combination of colors on those beds. And then I really liked using this dresser that came from the kids room stuff because it has like the little pictures in there. In here I also end up placing a drawing table, and then I also place a table for doing homework on. I don't have one in the other room, but I mean, those Sims could easily do their homework at like the dining table or something. But there's this table that came from Eco Lifestyle that had this yellow top, and it just looked so cute not to use it, and it gave me a really good spot to add some extra clutter. I also have a laptop in here. Of course, your other Sims could have laptops in their inventory if they need to use a computer, or they could just share this one. But yeah, I felt like it was pretty adorable, and I really just liked finding items in this pink color. There's some really cute objects that come in pink swatches in the game, so I like the like softer, like more powdery pink color. It's pretty adorable, but yeah, here I'm just finding a rug, and then I just add some like posters and some other decorations along this wall, and then also a bookcase. I used this bookcase that came from Discover University. I find it kind of weird that it comes in such a pale pink color because those chairs also came from Discover University and they are a much stronger pink color. So I wish it would have matched them, but I don't know, maybe it would have been too matchy if I would have like had it in the exact same pink. So maybe it worked out better this way. But anyways, here on the balcony, I just add a couple of lounge chairs and then also a yoga mat. I felt like the 100 baby mom of the house would want to do some yoga. And then I'm adding a chess table and then a few decorations here on the back. I also add an art easel, so there's another activity to do there. And then a little gaming table over here in the corner that the kids can use, which I thought was pretty cute. And then over here is going to be the garage. In the garage, it's mostly just purely decorative. I wasn't exactly sure what I should include in the garage, but there I did realize that I had no way for your Sims to actually go inside the garage, so I put a door there instead of a window. And I also added the little bug house by the play area, and I used the swatch that looks like it's been hand painted, so it felt very like kiddish and super cute. And I imagine it's something for like the children to care for and take care of the bugs. And I don't know exactly what all your Sims have to do to care for the bugs, but it's there as another activity and kind of like another way of having a pet. But yeah, in here I'm just adding some clutter decorations. I also added this shelf that has like some dog leashes hanging from it, so maybe they used to have a dog or they're wanting to get a dog and they have some dog stuff in here. But yeah, basically it's just clutter items and camping gear, because I imagined maybe the Sims like to go camping quite a bit, but there's a punching bag in here, so that's something your Sims can use. But anyways, yeah, this is pretty much it for the entire build. I'm just going to add the final few decorations in here and then we'll be going on to the screenshot. So I really hope you guys have enjoyed this build and hopefully you guys enjoy the screenshots. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and please leave any comments or suggestions you have, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye!
Let's forget about tomorrow. Yeah, should I hide away forever? Should I close my eyes and never again hold you tight, call you mine, think about you every time? I remember that it's over. Yeah, you never break, you never lie, you never ever scared of the dark. So why am I the one who cries? I'm so afraid to be left behind. I think about you a lot. It's almost like I can't stop. Can't stop. Yeah, yeah. You never lose an argument, so I've been trying hard to pretend that I'm okay. It's just a phase, and everything is going just great. I think about you a lot. It's almost like I can't stop. Can't stop. Yeah, yeah. I always knew that this would happen. Yeah, you would find a new distraction. I need you more, need you here, more than I would like to admit. Can we let go of tomorrow? Yeah, you never break, you never lie, you never ever scared of the dark. So why am I the one who cries? I'm so afraid to be left behind. I think about you a lot. It's almost like I can't stop. Can't stop. Yeah, yeah. You never lose an argument, so I've been trying hard to pretend that I'm okay. It's just a phase, and everything is going just great. I think about you a lot. It's almost like I can't stop. Can't stop. Yeah, yeah. It's almost like I can't stop. Yeah, yeah. Can't stop. No, no. can't stop, I can't stop.